An uninspired corporate world exists. People work paycheck to paycheck, lacking vision. But this is not where it starts. It starts in our education system. Rote learning, boring opinions, labelled as facts. Lacking vision, students search for an escape, turning to drugs, and worse.
So what is vision? Well, to me, vision is the laser of the mind. Your vision is not only your dream, but it's the multiplicity of goals that you see in front of you that you're going to have to accomplish in order to make that big goal, your dream, a reality. Your vision is much clearer, much more solid, much more guiding than your dream. Because you can see the path. You know where you're going to go when you have a vision. The dream, it's just the idea. It's just the base. But when you turn your dream into a vision, when you target what you want, you reach the goals to get what you want, your vision becomes like a laser, removing those things that you don't want from your path, and then you reach your dream through your vision and you turn it into a rock-hard reality. That's what a vision is. It's the power to turn your dream into a reality.
The vision will give you a clear direction. It's like a compass, or like your North Star, if you will, that will help you to always adjust your direction along your way. Always choose the right road when you have something to choose from, and make sure that you are going in the direction you do want to go. Obviously, if you don't know where you want to go, don't be surprised that you end up somewhere. And this is what many people do. They look at their life and then wonder where they are, and wonder and start complaining how they got there. But pretty simple. If you just surf through your life and afterwards complain where you have landed, well, then it's no surprise and nobody is to blame. If you're a surfer and not defining your goals, you cannot reach any goals.
For me, having vision is is looking at what it is you want to accomplish, and then getting past all the nasty, horrible obstacles that you envision might get in the way in order for you to reach your vision. So if you have a particular goal that you want, usually what we do is we put all kinds of obstacles in our way, when in fact, if you make a plan about how you want to get there, and you take one step every single day, or once a week, or however long, then you can attain that vision and reach that goal.
What is vision? For me, vision is entirely useless in and on itself. Vision has to have a partner. It has to have a person having the vision and carrying it out.
It's a pity, but many people just miss to dream, because everything starts with a dream. And the reason is, when you dream, when you just let your thoughts flow, there is something coming up. What pops up is what you feel deep inside, and therefore I recommend that you dare to dream.
In the vision that you are picturing within your own mind, it is very important to include yourself in that picture. Without including yourself, your results will be very limited. Also, you are going to want to include motion. Motion is very important, for it allows you to focus on the vision and include other things like your emotions, joy, exhilaration, laughter, excitement. Also, you will want to include your senses, your sense of smell, your sense of hearing, touch. What does it feel like? How does it look? All of this is very important in the creative process. You want your vision to be as detailed as possible so that you are able to move yourself right into it and not know the difference in the reality that you have left and the reality that you have just entered.
Well, vision is something that you see. You see it inside yourself. Okay? A lot of people have vision. I have vision. You have vision. Small children have vision. Older people have vision. Trouble is with life, people get in the way of vision. People steal your dreams. They take them away. And so you don't have vision anymore. But a lot of people do keep hold of their vision. And they're very powerful with them. For example, Martin Luther King had a vision. There are lots of other people who had vision. Walt Disney was a classic one. He had a vision of a theme park. And look how his vision came true. He had an idea, he kept it in him, he worked hard at it, and he stuck with it.
Really check if whatever you envision is what you really want. And then optimize the pictures. Maybe other things will appear to be more important than the first idea. Optimize your picture, make sure it's something you really want. Then make yourself clear on why you want it. What are the benefits? Really, write it down. Write down what do you think would be the benefits of having this thing or this situation. And also think of, is it okay if I receive that for my environment? Would my family also be fine with that? That means that the whole situation has to be in harmony with all your surrounding, with your mindset, absolutely with everything in your life. Then this is when you have the vision you really, really and truly want from deep inside. And this is when you will start to feel a strong desire. And when you feel a strong desire, this is such a driving force. This is what will take you towards your goal. And this will make you take action because you will feel this being driven. And this is why a vision is so important. It's important to define the vision, like I just described. Starting with a dream, listening to your feelings, putting passion into this, and then when this all comes together, you have the vision that it's your North Star, you know where you're going, and this is a very, very powerful driving force to reach your goals.
The definition of vision is to seeing something in here and asking myself, what steps do I need to take every day in order to take the vision in here and bring it out here into the real world. So my definition of vision is thought, action, reality.
When I was a little kid, I was always dreaming of becoming a millionaire. Now, believe it or not, for me, it was reality. I was always playing like kids are, they're just playing around. And I always imagined like I'm going to some important meetings, meeting some important people. And I know where this comes from. Maybe I was watching too much of those old, wonderful, old-style Hollywood movies where everything was glamour and nice and people living in this beautiful, crazy big apartments, having parties along the pool. As a kid, I was starting to play then. I was maybe 9, 10, 11, when I was all the time dreaming of like, well, I'm a millionaire, having a crew around me, working with me. I didn't have this picture like going to a job and working there. I had always this picture like having parties, having nice people around me, just having a good time, doing good things, helping people. Somebody was always saved out of something, of disaster and things like that, and always this happy end.
Graduate school was a huge surprise for me because it wasn't anything like college per se. College was pretty easy and I kind of floated by, and I could have probably done a little bit better had I put my mind to it. However, the very first day of graduate school, they handed me this huge pile of books and they said, here, read this by tomorrow, and then by the end of the week, write a 40 to 50 page paper with indices and charts and graphs and all kinds of good stuff. And I'm going, oh my God, you want me to do what? But by having a little vision and looking past this obstacle, which was really this pile of books and journals, I could see to the other side. And once I could look past all of those obstacles and see the other side, it made it that much easier. And then I could just plan out, okay, I have to read this and then this and then this, and look for charts and graphs and put something together. Now, I'm pretty good at writing, so writing the paper itself was not all that bad, but sometimes just looking at the vision and the goals can be a little overwhelming.
And at the age of 10, the grown-ups told me, oh, how cute, look at that, how ambitious she is, what ambitious thoughts she has. At the age of 11 and 12, it was like, well, she still dreams big. At the age of 14, 15, 16, there are more kind of questions aroused, like, so now, what are you going to be when you grow up? You know, the typical kind of questions. And I said, well, a millionaire, just representing this kind of lifestyle that I just described. It was this idea of feelings, having a good time together, doing positive good things. That was really what I felt strongly about, like kind of saving the world. I was a little supergirl. At that age, answers like, I'm going to be a millionaire, were almost stamped like totally ridiculous. Like, come on, no, you're really too old now to talk such rubbish. Let's get serious. I want to know what your future plans are. You know what? They killed my dream. And I was really torn apart inside. I was feeling like, wait, am I crazy in my mind? Is something wrong with me? Yeah, I totally lose this realism for life. Oh yeah, I have to find something real. Forcing myself into being realistic caused me so much headache.
We can take my membership site that I just launched for an instance. In short, very briefly, my membership site is going to be my online educational platform where I deliver my future products and courses, and also serve as a place where a lot of people can come to me and connect with me. And I had this vision of how I wanted it to look. I actually started building over a year ago on one platform that I realized that if I put my heart, mind, and soul into it, that it just wasn't right. I walked away from that, took what I learned from that, and took all that stuff, refined my vision of what I wanted it to look like. I went out there, I found the platform, I get busy every day building on it, and now, several days later, I launched it.
Okay, now finally I educated myself into a profession that was well paid. I did what it was meant for. I got a job. I got a great job. First I was at a design company. It was very phenomenal, very fantastic people there. And that was the event of my life. It was really beautiful, but I was driven by growth. I always wanted to grow, and that was just a job, and a job has limitations, so I jumped in another company. And what phenomenally happened along all my life, this is my life story, I was always pushed forward. Now some people said you are so lucky. They pushed you upwards. My reality deep inside was like I'm not that kind of business person striving for growth within a company. But yet I was striving for being expensive, and that worked out. But I never made a pressure on me to get a good position, and I just got it. So what is this telling you in terms of law of attraction?
Let's stop right there and go back to before I started the building. What happened? What did I start with? The first thing that I started with was, before I even got busy with writing things out or sitting behind the computer working at it, the first thing I did was to visualize, having the vision. I defined them, and I found a clear picture of how do I want it to look? What will its purpose be? How it will work for the customers? How will it work for me, the owner? How will it work for the support staff? How will it work? How will it look? What functions will there be? And so on. Pretty much forming a crystal clear picture of the feature, functions, and benefits, how it all fits together before I even started writing things down or I started building it. Because once I had that, once I could almost reach out and touch it, that's when I knew that I had something, and I just needed to take daily steps every day and make it happen. I had the roadmap already built. So that was what I was talking about earlier. That I had a vision. I thought about how can I accomplish this, and I went out and I accomplished it, and I brought the vision into reality.
I was always a rather large person. When I was a child, I was running around doing a lot of sports at school and eating anything and everything that was going, crisps, chocolate, you name it. Didn't matter then, I was running the calories off. I played a lot of sports, athletics was a very good one, netball as well. So as I became older, I was carrying on eating and I put the weight on, and from about the age of 15, 16, my mother told me I had a middle-aged spread. And I suppose I was a bit of a big girl, didn't really think about it. I tried many diets to lose weight, and I had this vision of me, how I wanted me to be, the slender person that I wanted to be, the energetic person that I wanted to have back. I put on, as you see me now, another 31 kilos or 4.5 stone, a lot of weight. And I struggled with it for many years. I was a size 16 to 18, maybe more. Everything was elasticated, everything was loose. And I wore the clothes for my husband a lot of the time, much to his upset. But his t-shirts were great, nice and loose. Didn't matter, or didn't seem to matter. Anyway, I tried many different diets, as you do. And finally, 14 years ago, I found one that I stuck with. And it worked for me. The point is, not so much the fact that I did those diets so many times, but the fact was I kept with the vision. I saw in my mind's eye where I wanted to be, and then I went for it. It took me a long time. It's not necessarily something that happens overnight. A vision is something that you have within you. It's a burning desire to have that vision that you have in front of you. It might be a Ferrari, it might be a boat, it might be a house, it just might be financial security, it might be a child, who knows? Everybody has some form of vision, I'm sure, and I'm sure you have yours. The important thing is, once you have a vision, is to try and go for it. Never mind what anybody else says. I was told so many times that I was stupid, give it up, just be happy being fat. Well, I wasn't going to give up. My ex-husband told me many times to give up on the diets because they were costing money and I was getting disappointed. I would lose weight, put it back on, but for me it was something compelling. I had to do it. And it took me all these years, it took me 20 years to lose the weight. But I did it, and I've kept the weight off for the last 14. So what's the moral of the story? never, ever, 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 ever give up on your vision or on yourself.
I left my company. I just left it at a level that I was pretty much a very, very well earner, a manager. And people who know me were telling me, are you crazy? Are you totally out of your mind? Today, that I'm working online, and it's not easy. I had to learn a lot. I started from scratch. I had no clue about internet besides how you surf and how you send an email. I'm serious. You know what? I think I'm one of the happiest person that I can be today, right now. Now, looking 20, 25, 30 years back. If you will, you can take this like I today was living the life that I was already in when I was 10, 11 years old. Now, isn't that crazy? I was thinking about that recently when it came across my mind. Well, wait, actually what I'm living today, and that's my point here, you cannot oppress and suppress your feelings and your passions, because that will only cause you a nightmare. What I'm living today is actually what I was living in, the dream that I was living in when I was a kid. Today, there is this amazing parallel to this exact childish dream that I painted. An idea of doing good that I had when I was little. I was always dreaming to be big and having the power or the freedom, the financial freedom to be powerful enough to empower others and to help. Isn't that exactly what I'm doing today? Today, 25 years later, I'm doing exactly that. I'm trying to help people to get going. I'm coaching them in terms of mind power. I'm coaching them in terms of business. The dream I jumped in and made it my reality when I was playing, when I was little, somewhat totally reflects what I'm living today. And this is something that could have happened much earlier if I would have dared to live my dream back then when I was 19 or 20 and not just push it away until later. I'm happy that at least now, today, I was able to accomplish that.
I have for a while now been becoming aware that where I currently am, physically living, and is Australia, may not be the best place to do what I want to do in the future. Its culture does not suit the type of career that I wish to pursue. So that was something I've been aware of for a while and was just sitting there. And slowly I began to get into a rather hopeless state and just sort of think, well, I'm stuck here, never being able to do what I want to do. I may as well not do anything. And it wasn't until one of my friends, one of the people that you're seeing in this movie, James Talbott, said, well, you don't actually have to stay there. You don't have to stay in Australia where you're living. And I said, well, yeah, if I didn't have to, I'd probably go to the United States. It's where I think I'd be able to do what I want to do. I said, well, you can do that. Now, I'd sort of known that, but I hadn't believed that. And after talking with him for a couple hours about this, he got me to believe that. So I had a dream, and I was able to think, well, I'd like to go there, and I'd like to do that. So I had to turn it into a vision, and I managed to turn it into a vision quite quickly. This, obviously now I realise, is something that I need to do, because that night when I realised that it was possible, I actually cried. Now, I normally don't do that. You know, normally when new ideas hit me, I'm like, oh, well, okay. But this obviously was a big thing because, yes. So, I then worked straight away to turn that dream into a vision.
My next example is that I started a business here about 9 years ago. And I had the vision primarily because I was watching somebody else do it really, really badly. And I felt that I could do it much better. And so my vision was to create basically a mental health center, and we would employ all these people. And now it's a fairly huge success. But when I first looked at it, it's really overwhelming because you have to go to the state and work with lawyers and contractors, and I had to hire somebody to write policies and procedures, and on and on and on. And so really it took me a couple of years just to get it off the cutting room floor. But by looking past all of those obstacles and taking one obstacle at a time and conquering that, I have now created a business where we will essentially reach several $1 million by the end of the year. I have 130 employees and well over 250 clients. So while it's a little intimidating sometimes to look at a really big project, you can look past it to get to where you want to go. And once you're there, you kind of look back and go, wow, that really wasn't as difficult as I thought it might be. So you guys in high school, just look at something that you want to accomplish and give it your best, because you just never know what's going to happen. You might just get there.
Well, I want to give you another example of a vision. Somebody who very much inspired me. A lot of people inspire me. And they tend to be people who really flout society. You know, they're told, they're kept down. A classic film is In the Pursuit of Happiness, where a guy has everything against him and he puts himself through school, a form of school. It's a shares dealing school, learns how to deal shares, becomes a multimillionaire from nothing. A lot of these stories I find are wonderful, not just for the fact that they inspire me, but also these people started where I started, from nothing. One very, very good example is a gentleman called Mark Hughes. And it's quite a tragic story, really. His mother was a part-time actress in Hollywood, always trying to lose weight, hence my interest there. And she took amphetamines, which I did once, and they do drive you up the wall. You're all night up, you're up. I mean, the house has never been cleaner. Anyway, his mother couldn't sleep at night, so she went to another doctor, didn't tell him she was on amphetamines. And so what happened? She took the two drugs together and they combined and they killed her. He was a young lad, he was only 19 at the time, and he lost his mum and he was devastated. So instead of going to drink and drugs and all the rest of it, and he was a very good salesman, he went out and he studied how to lose weight safely, and he made it his mission, his vision, that he wanted to change the nutritional habits of every person in the world one by one. Well, 29 years ago he came up with the formula, the shake formula, which millions of us around the world take. It is the #1 weight loss company in the whole world, and it turns over billions. Many of us have lost weight and kept weight off from his vision. And his vision still touches us even now. All these years later, even people who've never met him are touched by his vision. His training videos are legendary because of the passion of the man. And it's the passion that came out through his vision that inspires others and makes some of us what we are.
So after contacting everyone that I thought I could use as a team, like I'm always believing you've got to have a team, you can't do it without a team. You know, doing high school, I have a team for every assessment. If I don't have a team, I'm not going to do the assessment very well. Never happened. So I had a rough sketch of a team, people at the US Consulate, you know, my grandmother for mental support, a few teachers, deputy principal, etc., etc., etc. In the end, this rough team seems to have not been that necessary. But what it did do was help me create the vision. Now, why do I say it hasn't been that necessary? Well, because uncoincidentally, i.e. meaning nothing happens by accident, about two weeks ago, my grandmother just asked if I could find the number on the internet for her niece. Her niece lives in Texas. She just wanted to contact her, but she hadn't contacted her for a long time. I searched Google and found her email, and then she gave us her number. My grandmother phoned her. And surprise, and bigger the surprise, she works at a university in Texas, and she is in charge of students immigrating at the university. So she goes, well, I can get Sean in. Like I mentioned to him, I can get Sean in. I can get Sean to this university. I can get him to the country. I can sponsor him in. And he can live with me. So she had gone, bang, I can get into a college, which is one thing I want to do. Bang, I can get into the country, which is obviously the first thing you need to do. You need a sponsor to do that. And bang, I've got somewhere to stay. So bang, bang, bang. You have a vision. You get what you want. The vision turns the dream into reality. I was sort of blown away, and I'm still quite blown away because this was only 2 weeks ago. And I'm going, well, this is something I thought a month or two ago was sort of impossible, inconceivable. And just like that, it's happened. And now, everyone else is going, well, it's only because you got a family member over there. Well, prerequisite to that, I didn't even know I had a family member over there. I had to dream it. I had to envision it. And I realised I did. There will always be a physical explanation. But the physical explanations only appear in order to explain or to enable you to live the dream. Things don't just appear. They do just appear in a way that will be, realistically okay with you and everyone around you. That's not to say it wasn't the vision. It was the vision. It was the dream. And that's what made it a reality. So, wow. I am still having a lot of trouble getting over that one. But it just proves if you have the vision, these obstacles, see all the obstacles. As I said, vision is the laser of the mind. There were so many obstacles, there still are a few, but they're going to be gone. Because this laser of the mind that is vision, I had all those obstacles. I had, where am I going to go to college? How am I going to get into the USA? Who's going to sponsor me? Where am I going to stay? Oh my God, why don't you just give up? Bang! Vision, they're all gone. That's how it works. And if you don't have the vision, you ain't going to get rid of them obstacles. As I said before, your vision is the power to turn your dream into a reality. So, what is this? Well, it's pretty obvious. This is the formula. The formula that you need to follow in order to use vision in your life. So, first, you do need that dream. The dream isn't pointless. It isn't useless. It's very, very important. Because you can't have the vision unless you've had the dream first. You can't have a clear picture of what you want unless you know the basics of what you want. So first you need to establish the dream. There's not much to that. But you need to do it. So what do you want? What is it? Your answer is the answer to give. Then, when you have that, you turn it into a vision. How? You need to plan. You need to work it out. You need to work out what you need to do. Once you've worked that out, you're in the process of turning your dream into a vision. And it will get clearer and clearer and clearer and become a more and more powerful vision. And the clearer and clearer it gets, and the more you work it, even just planning your vision before you even go down the path, the more it will motivate you to keep planning and to eventually go down the path and to reach that goal, i.e. turning your dream into reality.
If you feel something deep inside, either this dream will become your nightmare or it will become your vision. It's simple as that. Oppressed feelings, oppressed desires, something cooking deep inside that you never allowed to surface will become your nightmare. I can guarantee you. Or or you will find a way to release those energies sitting there, screaming for being let out, and then you will start to almost fly. It will become your nightmare if you don't let it out. Let me tell you this.
So, what is the formula for vision? Is it easy? You know, is it 1 + 1 = 2? Well, some of it's easy, but some of it isn't. You see, the most important thing is to have the dream. Have a dream of what it is you want and make it as big as you like. Doesn't matter. It's in your head. It can be anything. Okay? Then you visualize that dream. Visualize yourself in that Ferrari, racing down the road, wind in your hair. Make it feel that real. Then you've got to make it the reality. Making it into the reality is the hard work, because without the hard work, you're not going to get there. Unless, of course, you win the lottery, which is pretty unlikely. Not many people do. But that is the secret to it. You see, too much work without vision, not a success. Too much vision without work, also not a success. It's a balance of the two. So get your dream, get your vision, and go and make it that reality, because you can. And you know what? There are 1,001 excuses for not doing something, but there's only one reason that something gets done, and that's because you've done it.
It starts with a dream. You turn your dream into a vision, and you turn your vision into a reality. That's the power of vision. Dream becomes reality. Without vision, there is no reality. There is only dream. You would be living in the world that you live in when you're asleep. It would all be a dream. There would be no reality. Vision is what creates reality. All the realities you see have been created by vision in one form or another. Whether it be human vision, creating the buildings, the inventions, the technology that you see, or the vision of the Creator, whom and whatever you see that to be, i.e. creating all that you see. It all started with vision. Dream is merely the foggy outline that we were all built by, that we all build by, but that must be expanded upon through vision. You use your dream to create the vision, and then the vision creates the reality. It's dream, it's vision, it's reality. It's the power of vision. Make it happen. Having a vision early on, during high school or college, is very important. Possibly even more important or more useful than developing it later on. Because you start with a vision now, if that's where you are. Start with a vision in high school or in college. And it enables you to know where you're going. And it gives your actions meaning. Those of you who are in high school, taking action and you don't know where you're going, just doing the exams for the fun of it, you're like a hamster going around in a wheel. There's no difference. You're not smart, you're not intelligent. You're just doing these repetitive actions. You might be getting 100 out of 100 every time, but if there's no vision and no dream, there's no point.
As a high school student just getting ready to graduate, you might be looking at the work world and trying to think about what you want to do. In many cases, I think a number of you have ideas about things that you want to do, but you really aren't really sure about working for somebody else because they may not have the same kind of ideas that you have about what you want to do. So you could have a vision about what you want to do, map out all the different obstacles that might get in your way to getting to that vision, and then essentially doing one thing every single day or one thing every week to accomplish each goal towards getting towards whatever your vision happens to be. the great thing about vision is that it gives you something to look at. It gives you a benchmark. It's I want to get over there. I don't want to be here anymore. I want to get over there because that's where I want to live my life, and it's going to be better there. And often it is. So create a vision, stick with it, work out the goals, and you will get there. You will be a much happier person.
So before you pick up a textbook, you need to establish with each and every student what their vision is. And if they don't have a vision, that's what they got to work on first. There ain't no point looking at page 1 of your textbook. You know, because the likelihood is you'll pick up the wrong textbook, or maybe your vision will entitle you not to even look at a textbook. It's sad to say, but it's the truth, that a lot of students, a lot of people who start off in high school or in college, going along like a hamster in the wheel, those people will continue through life being that hamster in the wheel, taking meaningless action. And those people that are taking the meaningless action and don't know what they're doing, and who have no vision for themselves, you'll find always, whether knowingly or unknowingly, are supporting someone else's agenda, positive or negative. That's what they're doing. You'll be doing what someone else wants you to do, not what you want to do. Or because you haven't bothered to work out what you want to do. Or because you've got an idea, but it's just a dream, and you don't know how to turn it into a vision.
Now, all this talk about dreams, visions, purpose, goal, is it important after all? Couldn't I care less and just go ahead living my life in peace without all that talk and exhausting thoughts? Let me tell you, yes, definitely it's more than important. And I tell you why. Because if you feel something deep inside, either this dream will become your nightmare, or it will become your vision. It's simple as that. Oppressed feelings, oppressed desires, something cooking deep inside that you never allowed to surface, will become your nightmare. I can guarantee you. Or you will find a way to release those energies sitting there, screaming for being let out, and then you will start to almost fly. Living your life, finally being yourself. This is what we talk about here in this Make It Happen movie about vision. When we talk about vision and manifesting it. It will become your nightmare if you don't let it out. Let me tell you this.
But we've told you how to turn it into a vision. So don't do anything that anyone else tells you to do for that reason. You have to do it because you believe that you should do it. Never do something because you're scared of the consequences of not doing it.
Now, the important thing in this video that you're watching right now is not learning about my experiencing. It's not learning about what vision is. The most important thing that you can take home and really learn from this video is that it is you and your vision that counts in your life, because you are the only one in your life who can make it happen. And the best news is, everything you need to accomplish your vision, or your goal for that matter, is within you. You have what it takes inside of you to bring your vision to reality. Regardless if it is that you want to be an A+ grade student, you want to get on to the local football or soccer team, or you just want to have a very fit body, get on the cheerleading course, or whatever your vision is, I would encourage you strongly to spend some time alone with yourself, visualizing and finding out that vision, making sure that it is really crystal clear to you in your mind, that you can, any time of the day, spend some time thinking about your vision. You can actually see it in front of your eyes when you close it, or even have them open for that matter. You can hear the sounds related to your vision. You can actually almost taste whatever it is that is relevant to your vision. Start by doing that. And after that, after you see it crystal clearly, you know you have a very clear vision of what you want to do. You have it inside of your heart, your body, your mind and spirit. I would encourage you to start thinking about it and start thinking on, how can I make this a reality? What daily steps can I take each and every day that takes me closer towards bringing my vision or my goal into reality? And ask yourself that question repeatedly, several times a day. If you come up with an answer to it, which I'm sure you will, have a notepad ready, write it down, and then start doing that every day. Or as frequently as you can fit into your schedule. But take the efforts, take the action as much as you can, as often as you can, because that will take you closer to realizing that, to realizing your vision, to bringing it into reality.
So how can vision help you? Or how can vision help school children? Well, some people in school do have a vision. If you read about some of the Olympic athletes, there are a couple of swimmers in particular who saw themselves standing on that podium with the gold medal around their necks. And they trained and they trained, and when they didn't want to get out of bed, when they felt ill, when they didn't want to get in the water at 5 o'clock in the morning, they saw that vision, and that is what drove them on. A lot of people aren't self-made. They're not grand, wonderful people. They are just normal people like you, like myself. But the difference is between some people who do and some people who don't is the vision, and they never give up on that vision. In school, I found it very hard. I was bullied an awful lot. I've got a Greek name. My surname is, or was, Dimopoulos. So you can imagine in London, at that time where there were no foreign children around, that it was very, very unusual. So I got bullied an awful lot. And it would have been the easy thing not to go to school. It would have been the easy thing to tell my parents. It would have been the easy thing to cop out. But I didn't. I wanted to get through school because I saw the education as being one of the ways to pursue my vision. My vision at that time, I wanted a helicopter, I wanted a flash house, I wanted a boat, and I wanted a really smart flash car. Didn't know what type, but that's what I wanted. And I was going to retire at 35. That was my vision. I came very close to all of that. And that's another story. But that was my vision in those times. And that's what drove me on. And that's what drives me still today. Today is my children. And I see them at school. My daughter has a vision. She had a vision when she was young that she wanted to get to university. We live in Spain. We moved to Spain 15 years ago. They had to cope with a new language, a completely new different culture, completely new set of circumstances, and our lifestyle has not been very ordinary. We're not 9 to 5 people. My children have both coped through that, and my daughter now is in Seville University studying biology, one of the top students. Not bad for a foreigner. So if she can do it, and I can do it, you can certainly do it. You must never, ever give up.
You use your dream to create the vision, and then the vision creates the reality. It's dream, it's vision, it's reality. It's the power of vision. Make it happen.
The power of vision. just follow your vision.